All right, we're live. Welcome back, Truth Seeker. Tuesday, September 10th, 2019. Running late today. Had to deal with some family matters, so I apologize. And anyhow, we're here. We still got plenty of time before the games start. So let's do the usual thing. Let's go back and look at yesterday's games. And then move ahead to today. We'll do baseball this morning, take a little break, and come back and do our first decode for the NFL week ahead so we can get an early start, do the full analysis, give ourselves plenty of time to make picks. The Braves hit the Phillies yesterday. Let me pull up yesterday's notes. The Phillies had an opportunity to stay on 30 wins versus the NL East yesterday. I was wondering if the 30 might hit especially hard yesterday because we had the 30 date numerology. Plus, it was the day leaving 113 days left in the year, which is the 30th prime. You saw on Monday Night Football, the first game, the Saints won with 30 points, becoming 3-0 at home versus the Texans. Again, date numerology crucial. And the Phillies did stay on 30 wins, which means today they would have a chance at the 31st. When we talked about this possibility, would Philadelphia lose yesterday and then set themselves up with the path of maybe winning on the 31 date, winning on the 32 date? The Phillies are going to have to win down the stretch here if they're going to make it to the playoffs. There's been riddles all year, them and the Yankees right alongside each other. And we noticed yesterday that the NL wild card is on October 1st, 1-0-1. Philadelphia is the 1-0-1 city. So, the Phillies, that was really a game they should have won yesterday if they are going to be the team you'd think. They had one of their better pitchers on the mound versus one of the Braves' worst pitchers, and they didn't get it done. But we'll see what the rest of this series does, and there's still 20-some games left, so crazier things have happened in the world. Who remembers the Chargers-Broncos playoff collapse maybe a decade back, 5 games back with 5 weeks left in the season, and they ended up making the playoffs? Ed Hockley ended up writing an apology letter because of his blown call in the final week that made that happen. Yeah. Anyway, so that was that. In the Mets game, you had a really strong 30 riddle. DeGrom had a chance to get his 30th home win of his career and improve to 3-0 versus Arizona. That was one of 2 riddles that I bolded yesterday. I was filling that 30. DeGrom did get his 30th career win and become 3-0 versus Arizona, just like how the Saints won with 30 points and became 3-0 at home versus the Texans. The Yankees at Red Sox. The Yankees, having one of the best records in the league. They're a team that continues to bust riddles against them. I was leaning Red Sox yesterday. I thought they would get that 37th home win. Yesterday had 37 date numerology as well. Yankees equals 37. Even without the date numerology, it seemed to make sense that they'd get the 37th home win against the Yankees. But it wasn't so. And the Yankees won 5-0, 50. Remember the London series where the Yankees put it on the Red Sox, scoring... Well, there were a combined 50 runs in 2 games. Pretty insane for baseball. Average of 25 runs per game. And I forget what did the announcers blame it on? The way the wind was channeling through the stadium that they set up. It's like, give me a break. Wind increases the baseball scoring by 500%, I'm sure. So that was that. The Brewers and the Marlins. The Marlins were one of the teams where the 30 riddle didn't come through yesterday. The Marlins had a shot at the 30th home win. The Brewers also had a chance to stay on 37 away losses because that was your other date numerology yesterday. Milwaukee 37, they did. Had the Marlins won, the Brewers would have been 1-3 versus the Marlins this year. Both teams wear the M on the cap, M the 13th letter. We've seen a lot of 13 riddles with both teams, but it wasn't so yesterday. And I honestly did think the Marlins had a good shot in this one. Lyles could have got his 32nd career away loss. Marlins is 32, so at this point in the season, it might be more about playoff narratives and riddles. So something to keep in mind each game. One of the strongest riddles yesterday was the Astros to beat the Athletics. That riddle we talked about was through Greinke. Greinke had a chance to improve to 15-5 for the season. Oakland Athletics 155 and improved to 5-1 with Houston. Houston Astros 51. We see that number show up all the time with the Astros. When they won the World Series, they won the last game 5-1. So that was one of the strongest riddles through the pitchers yesterday. We saw the Giants could stay on 30 home wins yesterday. They did. The Pirates got that W. And Williams, the Pirates pitcher, also had a chance at his 30th career win. He didn't get credited with it, but it was there. That was one other thing that could have gone for the Pirates yesterday. Trevor Williams on the mound. For some reason, it won't go back to the last screen here. Let me get there another way. Indians and Angels. The Angels are now 0-4 versus the Indians. Remember, LA is 4. It's also 13. It's also 14. Talked about how they could fall to 0-4 yesterday. If LA does win today, they'll be 1-4 versus the Indians this year. LA 14. Very possible that happens, so we'll look at that. And the Cubs and Padres game, we saw the Cubs could get the 30th away win, and they did. So every 30 riddle came through yesterday except for the Marlins and Brewers game. And we thought that that number might be extra strong, again, because we had the 30-date numerology, plus it was the day leaving 113 days left in the year, the 30th prime. So the 30 was there, and if only those Marlins would have come through, because they were probably the best payout of all the 30 games. But if you follow the 30, you did all right yesterday. And then in NFL football, just to review, Monday night, 2 games. The Saints, they looked good to win. Drew Brees got his 156th career win. Houston Texans 156. The Saints improved to 3-0 at home versus the Texans on the 30-date numerology, winning with 30 points. A 58-yard field goal to give you 58 combined points. That's the technology right there. Again, they're using technology to ensure outcomes in sports. And for anyone who thinks that that's, silly, I mean, you got to be blind at this point. I mean, have you seen what's been going on with field goals the last few years in the NFL? The announcers are even calling it out. Go back and look at the Bears game. The first kick by the rookie Bears kicker, that ball was shank left. There was no way that ball was going through the uprights. Shanking hard left, and then all of a sudden it just changes its flight trajectory and goes right through the uprights. And the announcer's like, wow, that ball looked like it was going left. Yeah, because it was. It's probably going to miss by 10 yards. So, I mean, it's just undeniable what's going on. And have you noticed all of a sudden kickers, they can just kick the ball? I mean, for decades, a kicker, struggled to hit a 50-yarder. There was only so many guys in the league that had a boot strong enough to get the ball, 50 yards. But look at how many of these kickers now, they hit field goals, and it looks like they'd be good from 70. I forget what game I saw this weekend. Oh, it's the Rams kicker, Zerline. He nailed a 57-yarder that probably would have been good from, it probably would have been good from 75 yards. It just flew right through the upright, smashed in the nose. Like, man, that was a 57-yard kick, and it looked like it was going to carry at least another 20, 30 more yards. So, anyway. And then the Raiders-Broncos game. Gruden gets the 100th career regular season win, week 1. Think about what 100 is in numerology. 1 plus 0 plus 0 was 1. He stayed on 93 losses in the regular season. Gruden equals 93. Oakland Raiders 93. Monday Night Football 93. Carr got his 33rd career win. And those were my initial thoughts, is that's the way it would go. The 100th NFL season tribute, the Monday Night Football tribute. Gruden used to be in the booth. But one researcher did some great decoding, and he found a whole lot of 33s with the Broncos, and I had to lay off it after I saw that. But again, surface level stuff. The deeper riddles, the information is very interesting, but a lot of times the deeper riddles, they'll just take you off what's right there on the surface. So it's a QB-driven league. Derek Carr, 2 years ago, Derek Carr was looking like a young, promising QB that was going places in this league. And then for whatever reason last year, it was like, well, we know what happened. They had Gruden finish with 99 wins and 93 losses in the 99th NFL season. It was kind of like a coming back shaming ritual. But maybe the Raiders, again, I've been saying it seems like they got to have the Raiders be a pretty solid team this year to sell tickets in Vegas. That stadium they're building in Vegas, if you haven't seen, is gigantic. I don't know how we just got off the NFL scores. I didn't even click anything. That was weird. But, again, typically we're seeing teams do good before they move into a new stadium. In this case, a new stadium and city. And that stadium that they're building in Vegas is gigantic. So I got to imagine there's quite a few seats in that place. Raiders have a really tough schedule, but maybe they're going to be a team that really shocks a lot of teams this year. I think the Raiders, I think they got to give them a special season. So even though their schedule's tough, they might be the team that, surprises a lot of contenders and gamblers throughout the season. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And hopefully you went 2 for 2 on the Saints game because, again, that over was looking good. We said at the beginning of the week, if it got below 54, that was a good sign. Again, the Saints are the most 54 team in the league. I get sick of the trolls just saying, you never said anything about the over-under. I mean, bullshit. Yesterday I said, for the millionth time, the Saints are the most 54 team in the league. I know I talked specifically about the death of the recent news anchor in New Orleans, whose name equaled 54, Nancy Parker, the death of the 54th governor recently, the death of the 100-year-old jazz musician, and everything else we've covered. So, I mean, it's just been 54 all over the place for the Saints. So, a 54 or more was looking good. And if you watched the game, you saw the ritual they did with 54, right? Saints go up 27-21 on a late field goal, 50 seconds left in the game. Texans in 13 seconds score a touchdown on 2 long passes. They tie up the game 27-27 with the touchdown, 54 points, just like I had a tie game this weekend between the Lions and Cardinals at 54. 27-27. Then you can see that the kicker purposefully misses the extra point. I mean, you can just see it. I mean, just go back and watch that play. Look at how he kicks the ball. No follow through on his kick. Just does a little chip shot, pushes it off right, continues his momentum forward, and then just such a dumb penalty call, too. That's not a penalty. I mean, he kept moving forward. The guy was already in the air, not even jumping in the direction of the kicker, jumping in the path of the ball. The kicker moves into the guy jumping through the air, does a flop, lays on the ground like he's a cartoon character. It's all a mockery. But anyway, the rituals were all there. So, in 54, the number. Keep in mind that the only games this weekend with the 54 on the board, let's just go through it just to verify this, but there were 2. The tie game, and I'm sure there's going to end up being a 111 ritual with one of those teams. We'll keep an eye on that. But notice the scores that sum to 54. So I'm just scanning through. So far, none. So far, none. So far, none. This one's important, though. We said this was going to be about the 66-67 ritual, and you get the 66 points. But right here, Colts and Chargers, 54. That's important. The Chargers are a team in the AFC that have a shot. They're a team we need to keep an eye on. Phillip Rivers, the team name. So, do remember this, because this was the 251st day of the year, the 54th prime. So the Chargers beating the Colts with 54 combined points. We're going to have to think about that more. Lions and Cardinals, they're not going to be our Super Bowl teams, but there's something to think about here with this too. And that was that. And we got a caller. And caller, I just want to say real quick, yesterday you made the point about the all-time record, and I kind of scolded you about it. I was like, man, you're going to go to the all-time record after what I've been lecturing about the all-time record? And I do got to say, man, I know you love your networks, but you know the networks they're 50-50, I got to say. What's up, man?
Hello?
Yeah, you're on. I'm talking to you.
What up? Yeah. What was that about, Zach?
Because I'm just saying, I don't know why you continue to call in and just like hit us with the network. And yesterday you're like, Broncos going for 54 on ESPN. I was like, yeah, but I just got done talking about how you don't want to use the all-time records in the regular season.
Alright, hello?
What's up, man? You're on.
Yeah. Alright, man, I gotta say something, okay? It seems like, Zach, when I call in, like, I be trying to be on the same page with you, and, like, I'm gonna bring up points that I have started from a year ago. It's like you against me sometime, man. Like, I be respectful. I never argue with you. I'm one of your best callers that call in. I taught you guys how to foreshadow. I remember when I said foreshadowing, and you discredit that. Like, there was a lot of stuff. I bring up networks. I bring up all this stuff.
Hold
like,
on, man. Hold on. I'm not being disrespectful, but yesterday it was like all day. I just made the point. I was like, you guys got to stop looking at the all-time in the regular season. It's the regular season you want to focus on.
Zach, but never once when you have been wrong, I had your back. People talk shit about you, and I call in and have your back. The dude Sports Gematria talk shit about you, and he was mad because I have your back. Go look at your comments from last night.
Sports Gematria was trolling on my Free to Find Truth page for the last 3 years. He's a troll on my blog before I even had this thing. That guy's a joke.
Okay, but I'm on your team though, Zach. This is how I feel though, man. Like,
but the reason I'm telling this to you is because I don't know why you called in and made that point yesterday. Because I'm also always telling you, man. Like, I don't know why you're always calling in and bringing up the network point. It's not a reliable stat.
Okay. Well, to me it is because San Francisco 49ers won because Fox equals 18 and 9. They got the 18 in the series, and Jimmy G got the 9. So,
do you think it had more to do with that, or do you think it had more to do with the fact that the streak ended at 14?
Yeah, we could do that too, Zach. But if it's gonna be like that, Zach, I just won't even call in no more, man. Like, I feel like you're like poking at me, and I'm on your team, man. It's like you're not always right, Zach. I help you out a lot too. I don't bring great information to this. Like, I've been with you the whole time in the Decode. I remember you started the live Decode last year, and nobody knew shit. And I call in and help people out because the other people didn't know what they were talking about. Like, that's just, come on, man. I'm trying to be mature, dog.
Well, I'm trying to help you out because I'm trying to help you see that normally when you call in with the network, it's not helpful information, especially when you're going to go with the all-time records. So that's the point I'm trying to make, man.
And then this is my last point, man. I'm gonna let it go, and I won't call in no more. And then lately, okay, I talked about that, but if you pay attention, everybody go watch the other decodes. Me and you've been on the same page, Zach, and been getting them right. So what was that for? What was that for?
Well, I just told you what it was for. Broncos didn't win. I don't like the network.
But okay, Zach, that's one thing I got right. But I'm not calling in on you and like, hey, Zach, you got that wrong. You know how many times I don't got something right and you went against me? And I know they pay attention because I read the comments too. Pix Money says I was going to be right and I went against it. I lost money. Come on, man. I read comments too. I don't bring that up to you. I call in every day to help the community, man. Come on, man. Don't be like that, man. That's just fucked up, man. I don't appreciate it.
All right. Well, what's the point you want to make today?
I ain't making no point. I'm good, man. Have a good day.
All right. See you, man. So, I mean, honestly, I know that guy calls in and he acts supportive, but he usually just calls in and says what the network Gematria is, and every day I'm just like, man, the networks are inconsistent. I don't know why we're doing this every day. So, all right, let's move on. All right, so we're going to go through the baseball games. Just on the surface, there's some riddles that pop out today. So just on a quick scan, the Tigers actually lead the Yankees 2-1 this year. And those games were both played in New York. So the Tigers beat the Yankees 2-1 in Detroit earlier this year. If the Yankees go 2-1 in the next 3 games, they'll even it up at 3-3. And we know, whoops, I wrote Yankees is 33. New York's what's 33. Tigers is 33. And here, we got to do some more decoding. We still don't have the Yankees pitcher. The Orioles in the Dodgers game, Dodgers aren't a good payout, but the Orioles are 5-7 versus the Dodgers all time. We know how much 58 shows up with Baltimore. Baltimore's 58. So if the Orioles lose, they'll be 5-8 versus the Dodgers all time. Let's see here. Hold on. Wait a minute. The Nationals at the Twins. The Twins are 4-2 at home versus the Twins are 4-2 at home versus the Nationals. If they win, they'll be 5-2. Minnesota's 52. Caller?
Hey, so for this Dodgers game, they are 1 game away from clinching the NL West. And what's interesting about that is that today is 31-day numerology. Clinch is 31.
Okay.
NL West is 93. And they're playing the Orioles. Orioles equals 93.
So perfect team to clinch against.
They're 7-8 interleague. The game is in Maryland. Maryland equals 88. And today's the 38th-day numerology. They can get the 38th away win. And Ty Block, he can get his 22nd career loss and keep the O's on 22 home wins.
Yeah, good observations. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
The other thing, too, I wanted to remind you. So yesterday, what I was mentioning before with Greinke, he won yesterday, which was so perfect. He would now face Montgomery and the Royals on 9-14, and he should then fall to 5-2 at the Astros at Kauffman Stadium, equals 52. So I'm thinking, I've mentioned previously, when we identify games that we really think in the future are going to work out. So now we have 9-13 and 9-14 with the Astros potentially figured out against the Royals series. Because Garrett Cole should win the first game, and Greinke lose the second. And with the Yankees today, the record, I believe, for them on 9-11 is 5-11. So it's likely that they go to 6-11. So if we're thinking about these, the calendar of the games coming up, we just wanted to, start assembling our list. Anyway, I just want to point that out.
All right, yeah, good observations, man.
Thanks.
Caller?
Yes, hi, Zach. I'm looking at the YouTube channel. I'm not getting a video on your discussion.
You can't see the video?
No. Is it open on your end?
Well, I imagine as people are calling in, let me check with the chat. People in the chat, can you let me know if you guys can see the video right now? I imagine they can.
Okay.
So you went to the Patreon page and then you clicked on the video and what it shows a black screen and you just hear audio?
Yes, correct.
What browser do you use?
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I went on YouTube.
Well, I mean, you have a web browser that you open the internet up with, like Firefox or Google Chrome.
Internet browser, or I can't recall. I don't know.
Well,
I can't recall.
Have you ever had this problem before?
Not really, no.
You could try resetting it. Do a reset. And if that doesn't work, if it normally works, there's got to be some glitch going on today. Because let me check what the chat said. They're all saying that they can see it. So it's got to be some glitch with whatever your device is. But what I do suggest is if you download Google Chrome, as much as I hate Google, I've noticed that Patreon works better on Google Chrome. It seems to have less errors. So that could solve it.
All right. I'll try that. Thank you.
All right. Yeah, no problem. Take care.
Take care.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I was just going through and I was trying to pick out these just these little things in the head-to-head records that jump out today. Again, if the Twins were to win at home versus the Nationals, they'd be 5-2. Minnesota's 52. A lot of times it's right in the head-to-head record. So just on the surface, those things jump out. The Athletics are or the Astros are 6-1 this year versus the A's at home. I actually am thinking about something else that's there that I need to consider. We're going to have to look more at that one. If they became 7-1, 71's the 20th prime number. Astros is 20, but if they lost, they would be 6-2. Houston, Texas is 62, so we're going to have to look at that one. Caller?
Yeah, Zach, what's going on with you?
What's up, man?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, too, I had told you when you were doing it last Friday, like, about taking the callers and about them throwing you off their observations, and I mentioned that because I knew that's where it was headed, how I was listening to it, so I just wanted to say, man, yeah, just do your thing, man, please, man, and just, you know, the calls be good, but try to, like, limit the amount of, because like the caller was saying yesterday, like when you start hearing other people's stuff, it start messing with your intuition. So it's like I'd rather hear you, then that way I can dictate where I want to go with it, you know?
Right. So I think that's the way I want to do it from now on. Is just I'll do the decode and then I'll open it up for callers at the end, and we can do that. But yeah, I know that is the case for me, and I've just noticed in the past when callers don't call in and stuff, those seem to be the better days as well. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's a couple good ones, you know, it's a couple good callers, but more for the majority, sometimes it's like, you know, it really throw you off. But what I want to make an observation on the Washington and Twins game is two of them. The manager for the Twins, the manager for the Washington, he can get his 144th loss, and the Twins are playing in their 144th game. And it's also the owner's 305th career game, and he can get his 35th away loss today. So
Which owner is that? Which owner?
That's the Washington Nationals owner.
Okay, so that would go with the Twins getting to 5-2 at home.
Yep, and then if you look at their head-to-head, if they win today, that'll be 9-7, and then you know Washington tomorrow could be the potential of 107 to going 10-7 tomorrow.
If the Twins win 2 in a row, right?
Right. So I think it's synced up with the owner for Washington, but that's just the observation. Like I said, man, just keep doing your thing, because, boy, I've been rolling. I mean, I've been literally rolling, man. The month of September, I know August was a heater, but I've been on my all-time high in September, and it's only the 10th day of this month. So, man, I really appreciate you, man. Just keep doing your thing and just kind of limit. Just don't let the callers mess with you. Like, if you take the callers and stuff, just don't let it throw you off. Just stay with your first intuition. That's what I'm saying. Telling you that when your first thought, even if you get it wrong, is normally right than your second thoughts. Like, just because we've been doing it for so long, so some things you just know with your intuition, you know?
Right. Yeah, I appreciate it, man. Thank you. All right, take care. And sorry guys, I'm just like I'm in a weird mood. There's like a family crisis. It's my sister's family. Just chaos is broken out in her house right now. And even though I don't know if you know the story with me and my sister, she kind of hates me for doing this work, so she's kind of distanced me out of her life. But right now she needs some support, and so I've been trying to help out. And just to explain to you how chaotic it is, she called me while she was driving this morning, and she doesn't normally want to talk to me. And she even got hit by a car while she was talking to me. And things are already bad, and I was just like... So anyway, just got to be honest about what's going on, because my mind is a little bit, it's not as centered as it normally would be. So just take that for what it's worth. I do apologize, but life happens. So anyhow, I realize also I need to go through just here a moment here and make sure all this stuff is plugged into today's games. Got to make sure we're looking at all of our date numerology. The 30 was hot yesterday, but again, yesterday was special with the 30 because it was 30 date numerology plus it was the day leaving 113 days left and you're the 30th prime. All right, here I'm gonna take this call while I plug in these numbers real quick. Caller.
Hey, you said you're doing a football later?
I am doing football later.
I know you just went over the game a little bit, but Gematria, that's the kicker who won for the Rams last year.
Zerline?
G. Zerline.
Right.
He lines up perfectly with all these people.
With what?
54 and 126 and 117, all those numbers we're looking at, 11, 7, all that.
Uh-huh.
But my thought was when they kicked the 58-yarder was it was one more than last year's kick, one more yard. So that means the Saints are going to go one more round and go to the Super Bowl.
That's an interesting thought. That is an interesting thought.
Because I saw that coming, right? You all knew that. We were watching that. That end of that game was so ridiculous at so many levels.
Oh, I mean, it's like I don't. There's been so many ridiculous endings to the NFL in recent years that I don't know how fans don't see through it. But last night's ending might have been the most ridiculous one yet. So.
But just for anybody to know, you can look up these people, and not to go off topic, but do what Gematria needs listening. Do G. Zerline, the kicker. Do Vanessa Andruska. Do Rory McIlroy, and do Liz Warren. Put those four down in a row. Not Elizabeth Warren, Liz Warren. They're all freaking lined up together.
Say that again. Are you talking about in relation to the presidential hopeful?
Well, yeah, Liz Warren, right. You look at those four people in their Gematria and how the numbers are at, you can see they're all linked together.
Huh. Well,
54, 117, 126, or Rory and Druska were linked together. Liz Warren's numbers are ridiculous.
Right. Right.
G. Zerline, the kicker.
Right.
Not Greg Zerline, because I noticed that you do the golf when you did the first initial last name. You got a better link up with the golf tournaments.
So, it was easy to observe that was definitely going on in golf. Just looking at the history of things. It could be something. I've never made that observation with the other part of the world of sports, but it is.
Put in G. Zerline right now.
Just here, tell me what it is real quick, because I'm plugging in this stuff while you're talking to me.
I forget. It's like, let me do it real quickly on your phone. I'm sorry. I think everybody should do it for themselves.
Okay, G. Zerline.
I got to spell the guy's name here, and then Will Lutz has got some good numbers too. The kicker for last night. G. Zuerline. Sorry. 117, 54, 126, 45.
Okay.
That's the same as the Andruska numbers. That's the same as Liz Warren numbers. That's the same as Rory McIlroy numbers. Rory, 126 and 117 and 54, his birthdays. They all had those same numbers. They're all tied to the Venus code.
Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah.
11-7 was Wozniacki's birthday. 7-11 or 11-7.
Right.
Will Lutz's 7-7 birthday. 77, United States and all that.
Right.
So those numbers are very prevalent of everything going on.
Yeah, that is interesting.
So I'll let you go. I'll listen to your football. I just thought when he made a 58-yard kick, on top of everything else that we knew, the 58 and all that it was just one more yard than the kick last year. Sure,
that is interesting. And then you also had a death of a Raider on the same day who wore the number 58, so that's another thing to think about.
So I think my gut when I first saw this, that the Saints are going to the Super Bowl. They're going to go one more round.
They definitely have the strongest connection to 54 in the league, no doubt about it.
Well, let's remember now, 2 years ago they lost in the conference semis, right, with the ridiculous play with the Vikings, right?
Minnesota Miracle. So then they get advanced one more round of the conference finals. Now the next progression would be the Super Bowl.
Right.
Right. Yeah, that was my line of thinking too. But man, I gotta tell you that what I've seen with the Packers and the Chiefs in Week 1 has me just it has me torn right now. So I can tell I'm
Well, I
probably
would
gonna
say
need
the
to.
progression with the Saints is that's coming. You know, there's obviously other teams. I mean, they might be playing the Saints and the Packers. They might be playing in the NFC Championship game.
Sure, and on your point about the Saints, and I'm with you. The other thing that they put right in front of your face, I don't know if you were watching the game, but Kamara, when he had the 41-yard game,
41. I was just looking at it going, you got to be kidding me.
they just put it in front of your face. But people don't realize that Super Bowl equals 41. So
No, I didn't hear this, but it was somebody posted it that when Hopkins tackled that guy, everybody's calling it a suplex.
well, they compared it to Monday Night Raw. The announcer, he goes, "This isn't Monday Night Raw."
Right. This is the NFL. I mean, that wasn't a sign of they're just telling you, right?
Exactly.
But it was all over the internet. Suplex.
Suplex,
Which is the move. They were calling it Suplex City. But that's the move that the wrestlers used when he did it. But
Let me see if I can pull that up.
I don't know if I forget what it's measured up to, but suplex or Suplex City or something. I don't know.
That is the word. I see it. Yeah.
So to me, I think I'm staying on the Saints until something more comes. I think they're going to the Super Bowl. I think it's there, and I think maybe the Packers is the team they play.
Well, that would have to be the NFC Championship.
Yeah, that's what I mean. They'll go to that round, and then they'll go one more round.
Okay.
You know,
Something else I would encourage people to look into, I was just thinking about this. Maybe people remember this from last season. It was Sunday Night Football. It was the Packers and Patriots game. And before the game began, they did a numerology lesson on the number 12. Do you remember this?
yes.
Because Brady just played on his 37th day of his age. Patriots is 37. 37's the 12th prime. If the Patriots went to one more Super Bowl, it would be their 12th as a franchise. And you know what? Let's just do it right now. Because I got this thought in my mind last night just watching the game. Like, maybe I should go back and look at how long it was from that game to the upcoming Super Bowl. Because right now, based on what I've seen Week 1, still love the Saints a lot. Again, no team has a stronger connection to 54. But if it wasn't the Saints at this point, I think it would be the Packers in the NFC. And my AFC candidates right now are Chiefs, Patriots, and Chargers. I think those are the most likely teams. Usually losing in Week 1 is not a good sign, so I'm thinking
Are you looking back when the Patriots played the Packers in the Super Bowl?
Well, that's a thought, too. That would be a Super Bowl rematch. That's a good thought as well.
Because we just saw the rematch this year, right? The Rams and the Patriots.
That is true. It would be back-to-back rematch. Well, and God, Eagles and Patriots was a rematch too, wasn't it? So.
Now, what is? I know you had this in your book, but what's the whole numerology with 54 and 45? They add up to each other and 99. Breeze is 99, 45.
Well, if you write out 54 and if you write out 45, they're the exact same in all four ciphers.
But if you look at Breeze's Gematria, it's 99, 45, 144, and 54.
Right.
If you add 99 and 45, it's 144.
Yeah, that's true.
The first two add to the other one.
Right, that's true.
And then there's 54. So the 54, 45 numbers are amazing how they line up to everything. 100 Super Bowl with 54, 100 equals 54, all that.
Right. New Orleans and Drew Brees fit in pretty tightly with 54 and 45 as well.
Right. All right, so what time are you guys doing the football? I don't want to keep you on the phone. I forget.
Yeah, I'm thinking it's probably going to start a little bit later today, 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. Do a short one today, just get all the information out there, the initial decode, so people can start looking at it. And then throughout the rest of the week, we'll take it apart further and further. So.
And then did everybody clean up on Driscoll?
Well, hopefully a lot of people did. Rambo nailed that right on the money. So
no, there's a combo effort on that one. Well, the funny thing is, Vanessa, what got me on Andruska too was they posted her thing on the app, Bianca Vanessa Andruska. I'm like, why are they using her middle name? Well, it turns out Vanessa Andruska adds up to all those numbers. And they said that she was named after Vanessa Williams.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Her middle name. I mean, they're throwing your face. I mean, you got former coach of the Lady Liberty, tied to the Statue of Liberty, Herb Williams. Go look at Doug Williams when he was drafted. First round, 17th pick, 117.
Huh.
So the Williams is all over the place.
Right.
Vanessa Williams, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, Doug Williams, Herb Williams, the coach for the Lady Liberty.
Right.
So no, that is funny when the Redskins scored this weekend when they made it 17-0. It was number 17 that caught the touchdown pass.
That happens every week if you're watching the games. That happens all the time. Yep.
So what time did you say? I'm sorry. What time did you say I was going to do it later?
I'm gonna do the NFL Decode round 1 about 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern, so a little bit later. I'll do the ones the rest of the week earlier than that, but I'm gonna get that initial post out there so people can start looking at the numbers, and we'll break it down further and further up until game time. So
I'll tell you what I told somebody. I'm in a suicide pool. I took the Saints. They're like, "Why are you taking the Saints?" Well, I think they're going to win a close game, so I'm taking the Texans and the points, and I'm taking the Saints to win.
yeah, good call.
It was just right there. I mean, it's so blatantly ridiculous the way that game ended. I don't know how anybody not see that.
Yeah.
The penalty on the kick, and then the easy up down the field, the 2 plays. I mean, what was going on there?
Yeah, I mean, well, I was thinking I was going to be wrong there about a minute for the over because I really liked the over yesterday, but...
Well, you also mentioned the 30-day numerology and 30-28.
Right, and becoming 3-0 at home versus the Texans, so they nailed it.
All right, man, thanks.
All right, take care. All right, I'm going to turn off the phone until the end of the decode, so we're going to power through the baseball decode, try to get the best picks of the day, and then I'm going to open up the line for more calls. So, that's the way I'm going to start doing it going forward. We'll go through the decode, and then we'll take calls at the end. And we'll just stay on for as long as we need to get through all the callers. But we still don't have a pitcher in this Yankees game. So I'm going to come back to this Yankees-Tigers game at the end. Again, the interesting thing is that the Tigers do lead the Yankees this year 2-1. And speaking of which, Detroit Tigers is 79, the 22nd prime. So if the Yankees win today, which wouldn't surprise anybody, they'd even it up 2-2. But I am wondering if the Yankees maybe only win 2 out of 3 to even the series up 3-3. As I say that, though, I think I just thought of one more thing that's important. Let me pull something up real quick. All of a sudden, I feel like Detroit has a 98 connection, so... Let me make sure that's not true. Yeah, Detroit does have a 98 connection. So I'm also seeing that if the Yankees win all 3, they're going to get to 98 wins. Okay. So, yeah, that's also very likely to get that 98th win. That would make them 4-2 against the Tigers for the year. All right, I said I wasn't going to take more calls, but this guy did call a bunch of other people on the line. Last call, and then I'm going to do the decode. What's up, man?
Hey, what's up, Zach? Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm sorry I tuned in about 10 minutes late. Did you touch that Yankee game? Because that looks real fishy.
So I want to see who they put in for the Yankees pitcher. I'm dreaming up 2 scenarios for this series. Either the Yankees go 2-1 in the series, or they sweep. If they go 2-1, they'll be 3-3 versus the Tigers for the year. They're actually in a hole against the Tigers right now. The Tigers have the edge in the series. If they're 3-3, New York's 33 and Tigers is 33. But if the Yankees win all 3, they'll get to 98 wins, and Detroit's 98. So
what do you think about the 91? The 91 on the board with September 10th and Detroit being 91.
That's true. I don't see anywhere in today's record where a 91 would fit in, though, a 91 tribute. So Jackson,
you think that 100 losses for the year for the Tigers is going to play on the 10th?
That's an interesting thought. That's why I want to wait to see who the Yankees pitcher is on this game. So we still got some time. So I'm going to come back to this game at the end because I figure by the time I get through the other teams, we should know who the pitcher is for that one, and see if there's a riddle there with the Yankees pitcher. Edwin Jackson, there's nothing that's screaming out. He comes into the game 3-9 for the season. New York 39, but no.
Yeah, I know 39, right? He has the 39 number.
He comes in 3-9, so maybe he gets a no decision. But yeah.
All right.
So I'll come back to that one.
I'll be listening for your call on that game, because looks like they're going to put in some sloppy pitcher for the Yanks, or not. Maybe not. Maybe they'll put in an ace pitcher, because it's like what, plus 220 for the Detroit. I mean, it just seems like a real fishy thing that they hadn't put a pitcher in yet. And I remember what they did with last week when they replaced the pitcher for against the Pirates with. I think it was Voth. Was it Voth or someone last week? They waited till the last minute to change it. But all right, thanks, Zach.
All right, yeah, you're welcome, man. Again, for that Yankee series, I mean, I feel pretty confident they're going to win the series for obvious reasons. They are the Yankees and they are the Tigers, but the numbers are there to suggest that they win at least 2 out of 3. Betting them to win the series probably doesn't pay a whole lot, but winning at least 2 out of 3 is the likely scenario. The Yankees will be on to the Blue Jays next, so you can think about that too with the next opponent. That'll also be away. And, yeah, I'll come back to that one. I want to wait to see who the Yankees pitcher is. So, all right. For the caller right now, I'm sorry, man. It's not that I have to end the line somewhere, otherwise people will keep calling in. I'm going to take the calls at the end. I'm going to skip the calls right now. I'm going to go through the games, and then at the end, open it up for calls so we get this done. Don't want to be here too late because I want to have a little gap before we come back and do football. So, Braves at Phillies. Philadelphia could get the 31st win versus the NL East today. The one thing Atlanta has going for them is they can stay on 22 losses versus the NL East. Remember, Braves is 22, so they have a connection to that number. I like picking up more than staying on. And, by the way, Braves is 22 in the most pure side. If you use the rule for S, it's 31. So it could make sense, in addition to the date numerology, to get the 31st win versus the NL East over the Braves. Atlanta's the favorite on the road. Fried's been a great pitcher this year. Vargas, not so much. Mediocre. Fried is 10-5 away. Philadelphia Phillies is 106. We have seen plenty of 106 riddles with Philadelphia this year, but the other thing is Philadelphia alone is 115. 11's the 5th prime number, so you can make an argument either way with Fried. I do prefer when the Gematria lines up with the full team name as opposed to just part of the name. And again, I still haven't given up on the Phillies. I mean, I don't know why they've been running the riddles all year alongside the Phillies and the Yankees, and most recently it was the death of the Farm League player who played for both teams. So, Phillies definitely got a shot there. With regards to Vargas, he's 98 and 97 for his career. Let me make sure I'm not missing something with that. Yeah, Atlanta Braves is 89, the reflection of 98. If he lost, he'd be 98 and 98 for his career. I suppose I'll just jot down that Atlanta Braves is 89. But I'm pretty sure as we move through here, there's better picks today than this game. So Phillies win, though. Fried would be 10-6 away, and I know that 106 hits big with Philly. Okay, the Dodgers and the Orioles. Again, the Orioles are 5-7 versus the Dodgers based on how much 58 hits in Baltimore. Got to think that the Orioles will fall to 5-8 versus the Dodgers. Dodgers have been playing kind of weird lately, dropping some games that you would think they wouldn't. Buehler, however, today, perfect opponent to get his 13th win. Baltimore's 41, the 13th prime, can improve to 13-3 on the season. This Ty Block, he's 1-2 for the season. With a loss, he'd be 1-3. We know how LA loves to dish out the 13. And Block, if you do look at him, he does have a winning record against the Dodgers. He's 4-2 versus the Dodgers in 7 starts with a 2.82 ERA. So based on his history, you'd think the Orioles have a small shot. Dodgers don't pay much today, but just looking at the team head-to-head record, got to assume it's going there. Caller also called in and made the good point about how the Dodgers could clinch a playoff spot today with a win, and how the Orioles would be a good team to do that against, because NL West was 93 set, and as we know, Orioles is 93, so let's just check that. Yeah, NL West 93, so could be the riddle why they're clinching against the Orioles. And real quick, let's just verify how many days it is to the World Series right now. If they do clinch, that they'd be the first team to clinch in baseball. 9, 10, 2019. You know, if the Orioles do, or not the Orioles, if the Dodgers do clinch today, keep in mind today can be written 10/9 like 109. And remember, Los Angeles is 109. And so is Yankees. And ever since that blackout happened, that blackout on the 42-year anniversary in New York, 42 years ago, the World Series was Yankees and Dodgers. And the Yankees won it 4-2. Again, this is the Yankees' 117th season. Dodgers has won 17. So if Dodgers do clinch today, something to think about, September 10th. And then the World Series begins October 22nd, 2019, which, oh my goodness, it's 42 days from today. Huh! 42. And that's, remember, the World Series 42 years ago was Yankees over Dodgers, 4-2. We had the 42-year anniversary blackout in New York on July 13th. Orioles is 42. Okay, so maybe I'm going to jot that note down here just so people remember that. Dodgers can clinch playoff spot today, 42 days before start of World Series. Orioles equals 42. Recall 42-year blackout anniversary in New York riddle. Dodgers equals 109. Yankees equals 109. Today is 10/9. So, I mean, that ritual looks right. That ritual looks right. Okay, Red Sox at Blue Jays. Toronto does have a little date numerology thing going today. They could get their 22nd win against the NL East. Boston equals 22 to go with the 22 date numerology today. So Toronto's got a date numerology riddle. Again, don't put all your stock in the date numerology. It's only been real consistent in recent times on 27 dates. Yesterday was good, but there was something special with the date that only comes around, every so often. Let's see. If the Blue Jays won today, they'd be 7-10 against the Red Sox. Boston Red Sox is 71. 7-10 kind of looks like that. The Blue Jays are 2-5 versus the Red Sox at home. If the Red Sox lost, they'd be 5-3 at Toronto. Boston Red Sox is 53. And if they split today and tomorrow, Toronto would be 3-6. Blue Jays is 23. So Blue Jays got a shot through that. Let's look at the pitchers more right now. That's what we got to do next. 53. Funny we were talking about 45 and 54. Eovaldi is 45 and 53 for his career. And Eovaldi is 1-0 this season. Eovaldi is 30-18 in the AL. We do have the 31 date numerology today as well. That's the life lesson number. So that's one thing going in his favor, that he could get the 31st win today. And away, he's 25-30. Well, there's the 31 can go against him as well. Eovaldi is 25-30 away. 31, all right. And versus the Blue Jays, he's 1-1 versus the Blue Jays. And at Toronto, Eovaldi is 0-1 versus Toronto. Or well, not at Toronto. With a 5.4 ERA and 1 start. Alright, so he gave up some runs that game. And I never heard of this TJ Zuch guy. He might be new. Maybe a middle reliever making his first start. It's going to be his first start, so he did some middle relief. 1 game, 4 innings pitched. So let's just see. His birthday's August 1st. So he's making his first start 40 days after his birthday or his 41st day of his age. TJ Zuch. Alright, so Blue Jays got the date numerology. The head-to-head record would make sense if the Blue Jays upset the Red Sox today. Eovaldi, you can make an argument for either way. And then Zuch is making his first career start, so he's kind of the wild card. So I'd say that game's a little bit of a roll of the dice, but Blue Jays definitely have a narrative. I'd say if the Blue Jays lost today, they got a real great shot tomorrow because we know how much Toronto in 36 hits happens all the time. So if the Blue Jays lost today, they'd be 2-6 versus the Red Sox. Tomorrow they could become 3-6, and then tomorrow has the 23 date numerology, that Blue Jays number. But the date numerology is there today. All right, the Diamondbacks and the Mets. The Mets are now 76-74 versus the Diamondbacks all time. The Mets became 37-37 at home yesterday on the 37 date numerology. And the Mets are 2-2 versus the Diamondbacks in 2019. If they split the next two, we'll get a 33. New York 33. Diamondbacks play down on the 33rd parallel. All right, let's see. Zach Gallen. For a while, it was like every game was a 57 ritual with the Mets. I haven't seen 57 come up in a minute, Deco, in the Mets games. Gallen is 3-4 for season. 2-1 with Arizona. That's his career stats, too. And Gallen is 1-2 away. I don't think he... Well, he might have because he pitched for the Marlins at first. Yeah, I guess he has pitched for the Mets. He has 1 start versus the Mets. All right. He had a 3.6 ERA in that 1 start versus the Mets. And then Wheeler. Now, Wheeler could get to 11-7 today, and I know that's a Diamondbacks number. Arizona Diamondbacks is 117. I remember talking about this, and his name is 117 too, Zach Wheeler. This is one we documented last week. Zach Wheeler can get to 11-7 over the perfect opponent. And he got to 10-7 versus the Washington Nationals. Washington Nationals 107. Wheeler is 10-7 for season. Arizona Diamondbacks, whoops, equals 117. I'm spelling something wrong here. Zach Wheeler is 117. And all right, Wheeler is 43-37 for career. So I don't see anything significant in that number for today. Could sync up with his next opponent. He's 18-22 at home, so he could stay on 22 losses. We got the 22 date numerology today, so good day to stay on 22 home losses. And he's 3-1 versus Arizona, so he has a winning record against them. 6 starts, 2.82 ERA. But I do like the 117 riddle with Wheeler. We talked about him winning his last start to set up this possibility. We saw this opponent, so it makes some sense. And let's just take a peek at tomorrow's game and see what it looks like on the surface. Robbie Ray could get to 13-7 tomorrow, like 137 the 33rd prime. Mott's could fall to 9-9 tomorrow. Arizona Diamondbacks 99, and then you'd have the teams be 3-3 against each other this year, and New York's 33. So, or wait a minute. That hold on. That conflicts, doesn't it? So Robbie Ray does have a narrative tomorrow. Oh, actually, no. You know what? Let me rewind that. If the Diamondbacks win today and tomorrow, they'll become 4-2 versus the Mets. That could also make sense because NYC's 42. Arizona's 42, Diamondbacks is 42, so 4-2 could be a number that would make a lot of sense as well. And it actually looks like the Diamondbacks probably will do that, just right there on the surface. It looks good for the D-backs tomorrow as well. Okay, so gotta say I like the Zach Wheeler riddle to get that W. All right, so Brewers, Marlins, Miami can pick up 22nd loss versus NL Central today. We got the 22 date numerology. So that would make some sense. And we talked about maybe how the Brewers could stay on 68 losses. They're trying to make the playoffs. If they do stay on 68, remember Miami Marlins equals 68. And Marlins were the only team to miss out on that 30-date numerology yesterday. All right. Chase Anderson. Let's see his stats real quick. Anderson is 51-40. Well, hold on. Anderson is 6-4 for season. Anderson is 51-40 for career. I'll just say 41 13th prime, M 13th letter. But man, the Marlins really squandered that 13 riddle yesterday. So let's see. Anderson is 20-21 away. Now there's where the date numerology could go against him. So he could get his 22nd loss away. He's 3-3 versus the Marlins in 8 starts. 8 starts, 4.06 ERA. And let's see what he's done at the Marlins ballpark. Check this out. He is 1-1 at Marlins Park, 2.55 ERA in 4 starts, so he's pitched pretty well there. Okay, and Hernandez, let's see. All right. Hernandez is 5-12 for career. Let me start with this. Yeah, he's tricky. He's Hernandez is 3-5 for season, and the problem with that is Miami is 36-45, and Brewers is 36-45. Out of those ciphers, the one I like the most is Brewers is 36 and the most pure cipher. So if he fell to 3-6, he could also get that 13th loss for his career. Again, both teams wear the M on the cap. And he's 5-7 at home. This is 5-7 at home. And Brewers. He's 1-0 versus the Brewers, but it wasn't a start. It was just middle relief. I'm not even going to jot it down because it's not a start. All right, so the date numerology for the team record is against Miami. And, you know, if push comes to shove, I think the date numerology, well, it's tough. You know, sometimes it really can matter for the pitchers, too. I do not like that Anderson can get his 22nd away loss today or his 41st career loss. I don't like either of those things. So, I'm going to have to look at who he pitches against next. Maybe we get the clue there. Series, St. Louis is 74. Anderson will face Cardinals next. St. Louis equals 74. With a win, he is 7-4 for season. So that definitely stands out. That might be the clincher. I suppose I can look at who the Marlins pitcher faces next. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to face the Giants next. And his numbers, what about his... Yeah, it's not going to work. I guess if he lost his next 2 home games, he would be 5-9 at home. It's worth thinking about because Miami Marlins is 59. All right. All right. The Nationals at the Twins. So again, what stands out here right away is the home record. If the Twins won, they would be 5-2 at home. Minnesota 52. Remember, they hosted Super Bowl 52. And if they won the next 2, they'd get to 10-7. Washington Nationals is 107. We've seen that hit a lot with the Nationals. So maybe the Twins got 2 W's right here. Let's look at the pitchers to see if we can get some confirmation. And whoops, hit the wrong button. Sanchez is 105 and 107. He could stay on 107 losses for his career. Washington Nationals again is 107. Sanchez is 8-7 for season. Sanchez is 105 and 107 for career. Washington Nationals is 107. And... Or hold on, I'm tripping. He's the Nationals pitcher. He'd have to win his next 2 starts to get to 107, 107. In the NL, he's 59 and 58. His numbers don't go with the date or Minnesota. Or wait a minute. We do have a 58 date numerology, don't we? We do have a 58 date numerology. Sanchez is 59 and 58 in NL. 58 date numerology. And let's see. Away, he's 53 and 59. Target field's 53. He's 48 and 54 in the second half. If he got the loss today, he'd pick it up in Minneapolis, the land of 55. Sanchez is 48, 54 in second half. Minneapolis 55. I see I spelled that wrong. He's 6 and 6 versus the Twins. 19 starts, 3.98 ERA, so decent. And two and 3 at target field. Okay. So I don't see anything crucial with his stats, other than maybe getting that 55th loss in the second half in Minneapolis. Let's check out Berrios. Berrios is 40 and 34. All right, Berrios is 11 and 8 for the season. Berrios is 40 and 34 for career. And suppose he could get his 41st win in the Twin Cities. They wear that TC on the cap, which is 13, 41 the 13th prime. He's 23 and 14 at home. Berrios is 23 and 14 at home. Yeah, it doesn't go with the Nationals. 14-19 second half doesn't go. Well, I think the strongest indicator in this game, and let me just double check it before we move ahead with it, but I do think the strongest indicator is the fact that Minnesota can improve to 5 and 2 at home, because Minnesota's 52, and if they won tomorrow, they'd be 6 and 2, and Minneapolis is 62, and then they also become 10 and 7 all time, and Washington Nationals is 107. So let me just verify that. Yeah. So they are 4 and 2 at home. They can improve to 5 and 2. Tomorrow they could become 6 and 2. So I do like that. I like that. Good chance they win today and tomorrow, I would say. Those would be crucial losses for the Nationals. Well, and that's what the Phillies need, too. They need some team to collapse here. So, okay. Okay, so got to read that one through the head-to-head record. The Rays at the Rangers, next up. Texas is 96 and 86 versus the Rays all time. Texas is 54 and 38 at home. We do have the 38 date numerology today. It's the lesser method, and we are now to the double-digit days. But it is there. Texas is 1 and 2 versus Tampa Bay this season. 1 and 2. So, what stands out to me, just looking at the head-to-head, is that if the Rangers won 2 in this series, and the Rays only won 1. And let me double check this is a 3-game series. One, two, three. 3-game series here. So if the Rangers won 2 of 3, they'd get to 74 wins, and they'd have 74 losses as well. Tampa Bay Rays is 74. So they'd be 74 and 74 if they won 2 of 3. And if the Rangers only won 1, they'd have 44 away wins. Actually, I see something else in that. Rangers is 44. The other thought to consider is if they only lost 1, they'd have 28 away losses. Rangers is also 107, the 28th prime. But it would be a little bit more direct with the 44 and the 74 and 74. So that doesn't sound bad right there. I'm going to jot that note down. If Rangers take 2 out of 3, they will be 74-74 for season. Tampa Bay Rays 74. Rays would have just 44 away wins. Rangers 44. Okay. Oops, that's not what I want. Wrong thing. All right, let's look up the pitchers here. See if we can figure out the progression of games if it is going to go in the Rangers' favor. Yarbrough's 27 and 9. All right. Yarbrough is 11 and 3 for season. So what I see in that is Rangers equals 37, right? We just looked at that. Rangers is 37, the 12th prime. So Yarbrough could get his 12th win of the season. And then Yarbrough's 27 and 9. Yarbrough is 27 and 9 for career. Rangers equals 107, the 28th prime. So through the prime numbers, his season and his career record could be perfect with the win today. We are expecting the Rays will win 1. Perhaps they win today and drop the next 2. But so far, Yarbrough's looking pretty good today. He's 16 and 2 away. 16 and 2. I see something in that contradicts. Yarbrough is 16 and 2 away. 163, the 38th prime. You got the 38 date numerology today. And 2 versus the Rangers. He's 1-0 versus the Rangers. One and over versus the Rangers. .75 ERA, 1 start. Okay. And let's see. Lynn is 14 and 10 for season. Lynn is 96 and 67 for career. Lynn is 24 and 20 in AL. Tampa Bay's 25 if he got his 25th win in the AL. And he's 54 and 24 at home, so 24 going against him as well. Let's see. He's 1-2 versus Tampa Bay, or 1-1 versus Tampa Bay. versus Tampa Bay. 4 starts, 3.49 ERA. If I was going to make a pick on this today, I'd probably take the Rangers to win the series because that's probably not such a bad payout being the underdogs. Because the riddle would be nice if they were 74 and 74. I've seen that show up a lot with Tampa Bay. Let's see who these guys pitch against next. 1, 2, 3, 4. Lynn's going to face the Athletics next. All right, so I see something. Lynn's next start is against Oakland. Notice his next career win is 97. And as we know, Oakland Athletics is 97. Athletics is 97. So maybe he doesn't get that W until the next start. Which doesn't mean his team loses today. It could be a no decision, but between the pitchers, I like Yarbrough's riddle better than Lynn's. Again, his season and his career record made sense with the W today. The away record, a little bit weaker. And then Lynn, you can make an argument either way. See if we can look ahead and see who's pitching tomorrow and the day after. Well, they're not going to give us that information, unfortunately. Not for tomorrow. What about Thursday? The Rays got their worst pitcher on the mound Thursday. Okay. All right, let's keep shopping here. Royals at White Sox. Let's think about it. Where could this one go? If the White Sox win 2, they'd have 36 home wins. Royals has that 36 connection. All right. So the White Sox can pick up the 31st win or loss in AL Central, so I can go either way against them. But remember that, because if they won today, it would set them up on the path to follow some date. Well, win or lose, it'll set them up to follow a path. If they won today and tomorrow, they would get to 32 wins in the AL Central. Kansas City's 32. All right, Junis. Junis is 27 and 27 for his career. So Junis is 9 and 12 for season. Junis is 9 and 12. Or whoops, 27 for career. And he is on the road today. He's 15 and 13 away. He has a winning record away. That's impressive. 15 and 13 away. And Junis is 16 and 7 in second half. 17, the 7th prime. He could become 17 and 7 in the second half. That's interesting. And against the White Sox, he's 3 and 1 versus the White Sox. .5 ERA in 6 starts. He's 1-0. He's 1-0 at Chicago. 4.91 ERA and 2 starts. All right. Nova could get his 13th loss of the season. KC's 13, but that KC's 13 and 14. The 14 definitely plays a lot harder. Nova is 87 and 76 in regular for career. Nova is 62 and 51 in AL. Let's see. Nova's next home win is 46, that Chicago number. Nova is 45 and 32 at home. Doesn't have to come today, though. But what I do see in that is Kansas City is 32. If he didn't pick up the loss, he'd stay on 32 losses against Kansas City. For the caller calling in right now, again, I'm going to take all calls at the end. I'm going to save the calls. I'm going to open it up for all callers at the end of the decode. So, let me see. His record versus the Royals. He could improve to 3-2 versus Kansas City. Nova is 2-2 versus KC. Kansas City 32. And pitching in his home ballpark. He's set. Oh, I like that. Nova is 7-6 in Chicago. Kansas City Royals is 76. I think the name of his ballpark is 86 as well. Guaranteed Rate Field. Let me double check that. Yeah, Guaranteed Rate Field is 86. Guaranteed Rate Field 86. So I do like that about Nova at home versus KC. Staying on 32 losses at home all time as well. Improving to 3-2 versus KC. If Junis lost, he'd be 3-2 versus the White Sox. Again, Kansas City's 32, so the 32s kind of line up. And again, if the White Sox won today and tomorrow, they could lose today and tomorrow too. It could go either way. But I do like this part of Nova's stats right here. I like becoming 8-6 at home. It's the right team to do it against, and the right ballpark to do it in. Okay, Athletics at Astros. Astros are 71 and 65 versus the A's all time. Interesting record. Astros equals 20. 71's the 20th prime number. Oakland Athletics equals 56 and 65. Astros are 37 and 30 at home. We got the 38 date numerology. You guys, give me 30 seconds. My other phone keeps ringing in the background. Again, I told you it's Family Crisis Day. I just want to make sure it's not. I'll be right back. Give me 1 second. I'm sorry. All right, I'm back. Apologies. Okay. So, Astros are 37 and 30 at home versus the A's. We got 38 date numerology. We also have 31 date numerology, though, as well. And that 31's a little bit more pure. Oakland also has the 31 connection. So we'll jot that down. Yesterday we had the 37 and 30 date numerology, and the Astros got to 37 and 30 at home, so that was an easier call. The Astros are 11-5 versus the A's. 11, the fifth prime number. We learned that Oakland has a 115 connection in the Frank Bacona cipher. The Astros are 6-1 versus the A's this year at home. You can look at that two ways. If they improve to 7-1, 71 is the 20th prime. Astros is 20. Or if they lost, they'd be 6-2. Houston, Texas equals 62. And let me see. Okay. Rourke is 73-62. His next career win is 74. Oakland, California, 74. I wonder if he picks that up in Oakland. He's 3-1 with Oakland. Houston's 32. If you use the rule, though, for the 19th letter, Houston is also 41, but that 32 is more pure. So let's jot this down. Rourke is... All right, so he's 9-8 first season. Rourke is 3-1 with Oakland. Houston equals 32 and 41. That 32 is a little bit more likely. Rourke is 73-62 for career. Oakland, California is 74. Next win in Oakland. And if only we had the 32 date numerology today. It's tomorrow. All right, let's see. He's 38-29 away. Again, we got the 38 date numerology. It's 39-23 in the second half. Houston does have that 40 connection, and he's 2-0 versus the Astros, huh? 2-0 versus Astros, 2.70 ERA and 3 starts. So he has a history of pitching well against them. How about in Houston? He's 1-0 there with a 3.18 ERA. Rourke is 1-0 in Houston. So not bad. Not bad. Okay. And Miley's 13-4. Let me see some about that. 13-4. 13-4. Okay. All right, let's check out Miley a little bit more. Miley's 84-80. Okay. Miley is 13-4 for season. Miley is 84-80 for career. I want to go back and look at yesterday's score. I know they skunked him. I think it was 15-0. Think about that. Miley is 41-43 in AL. Athletics equals 43 if he stayed on that. And let's see. He's 42-36 at home. And he could get that 43rd win at home. Athletics is 43. He's 38 and 36 in the second half. We do have that 38 date numerology. Athletics. He's 5 and 2 versus the A's. Houston, Texas is 62. Okay. Miley. He's 8 and 3 at home. 8 and 3. All right, let's take a peek at who these guys face next. Athletic schedule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Athletics got the Rangers next. So Rourke could make sense there. Well, he faces the Texas Rangers next. Texas Rangers equals 74, his next opponent. So that's Rourke. He's on 73 career wins. His next career win is 74, and he faces the Texas Rangers. So that is on the road. So maybe that's where he picks up 74. And all right, that does jump out. I'm just thinking about what his record could make sense being going into that Rangers game. Guess there's not a great read on that. For whatever reason, I feel like I'm always seeing 84 around the Astros, and I don't know what their 84 connection is. Athletics came into this series on 84 wins. All right. Astros schedule. One, two, three, four, 5. Wade Miley faces the Royals next. And you know, if Miley faces Royals next, Kansas City Royals equals 86. So if Miley got his 85th career win today, I guess what I can say about 85 is it's the reflection of 58. We know 58's big with Oakland. Today, for example, it's a date with 58 numerology, and in the headlines we have the death of an Oakland football player who wore the number 58. He died yesterday, the day of the Monday Night Football game. But if Miley won today, he could get his 86th win in his next start against the 86th opponent, the Kansas City Royals. So that makes some sense. We saw that Miley could stay on 43 losses versus the AL today. Athletics 43. That means he could become 43 and 43 in the AL by beating Kansas City. We know KC 14, 43 the 14th prime. So I'll just make that note here too. Could become 43-43 if he gets win in next 2 starts. KC equals 14. So 43 and 43 after facing KC. If he got the win today, he'd have 43 home wins. Athletics 43. He could improve to 6 and 2 versus the A's in Houston, Texas 62. So just looking at that, things line up pretty nicely for Miley. And again, Rourke's next career win would make more sense for his next opponent. If he stayed on 62 losses today, Houston, Texas is 62, so maybe he gets a no decision. The biggest riddle I think on the board for an A's win is to drop the Astros to 6 and 2 versus the A's this year. But you can make an argument for 7 and 1 or 6 and 2. So, but between the pitchers, looking down the road at the next game makes a little bit more sense for Miley to win today and Rourke to hold off his next win until the next one. So got to lean that way. The Cardinals and the Rockies. The Rockies are 96 and 117 versus the Cardinals all time. Makes me think there's a good shot they do get this 97th win, and maybe could be it. 97 is the 25th prime. St. Louis 25. Rockies are 0-4 versus St. Louis in 2019. Well, that's interesting because St. Louis is 43, the 14th prime. Colorado's 43. So maybe they have a shot to make it 1-4 today. Let's see what's going on here with Waka. A few more games to get through after this one, and then we'll take the calls. Waka's on 38 losses. Ooh. Alright, Waka is 6-6 for season. Let's see who he faces next. Waka is 59-38 for career. We know all about Colorado in 38. It's too bad he can't pick up that 38th loss. And he's 28-24 away. Can't do anything with that. 19-14 in the second half. He's 1-1 versus Colorado. Five starts, 5.28 ERA. And he's 0-1 at Coors Field in 2 starts. Okay. So nothing screaming about his stats. This Chichi Gonzalez is still looking for his first win of the season. Will he ever get it? Gonzalez is 0-6 for season. Gonzalez is 4-14 for career. So again, St. Louis is 43, the 14th prime if he stayed on those 14 career losses. Let me look at this guy's game log real quick. Does he just pitch an inning or two? Is that why he doesn't get a win? No? No, that's not the problem. He just doesn't get a win. He's 2-6 at home. Cardinals is 36. Gonzalez is 2-6 at home. Cardinals 36. He could become 3-6. First win of the season, maybe. Let's see. Gonzalez is 0-1 versus Cardinals. 1 start. 10.38 ERA. Not impressive. And, Gonzalez is 0-2 at Coors Field. Well, it's hard to have much faith in Chichi Gonzalez. There is something there with him becoming 3-6 at home. There is something in the head-to-head record that could favor the Rockies. But, I don't know. It's hard to have much faith in Chichi. Let me see who these guys face next. Cardinals schedule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gonna face the Brewers next. And yeah, I don't see anything that's too definitive about that. And the Rockies. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Padres. Just thinking about what his record could be going into that Padres game. I got to check out this Chi guy's birthday. I mean, how do you pitch for a season and not get a win? Well, let's see if there's some amazing alignment with his birthday. January 15th. 115. St. Louis is 115. Maybe. Today's 238 days after his birthday, his 239th day of his age, the 52nd prime. Let's see. Chi Gonzalez. Today leaves 112 days in the year. All right. What else could I say about this series? If Cardinals sweep, they're going to get to 38 away wins. If they lost to, they'd get to 38 away losses. Let me just make that here. If Cardinals sweep, they'll get to 38 wins. Colorado's 38. It's tricky because it can play both ways here. If Cardinals lose 2 out of 3, they will get to 38 losses away. They could also, if they won 2, they'd get to 83 home wins. Colorado is also 83, but it's the 38 that usually plays for Colorado. Yeah, I'm just going to have to leave that one alone. Again, the Rockies' riddle for an upset is through the head-to-head record. Nothing real clear with either pitcher. Chi's still looking for his first W. I just thought of something with his birthday. Today is Chi's 239th day of his age. 52nd prime. Coors Field equals 52. Looking for that win, and if he won, he'd be 3-6 at home. Again, Cardinals is 36, but man, the winless pitcher. I don't know how much stock I want to put in that. Pirates at Giants. Giants can pick up 31st home win today. They could get rolling on the date numerology. If the Giants won today and tomorrow, they'd get to 32 wins, and they'd keep the Pirates at 32 going into that 32 day. So the Giants got a little date numerology path set up here. Mitch Keller. All right, let's see. And how's he pitching away? Keller's 1-2 away. Doubt he's faced the Giants yet. He has not. Not much to go off of. And this Johnny Cueto guy. Cueto is 125 and 85 for career. This guy's making his debut for the season. gonna have to see how it lines up for his birthday since he's making his debut right now. Cueto is 29-15 for season. Cueto is 121-78 in NL. Now that's interesting because San Francisco is 122 and on the 122nd meridian. So his next win in the NL is 122. And let me make sure something here. Pirates. Giants. Let's see. February 15th birthday. Making his debut today. It's 207 days after his birthday. Means it's 158 to his upcoming. Johnny Cueto. All right. So again, the Giants have struggled against the Pirates this year. They're 1-3 versus the Pirates. How many more games are in this series? Three more games. Cueto, if he pitches again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, he'll face the Marlins next. And let's see. Whoops, the wrong thing there. Marlins. What about who the Pirates play next? One, 2, 3, 4, 5. So Keller's gonna face the Cubs next. It's a little bit abstract. Yeah, there's not a lot to go off for this one, but if Cueto did come in and play today, he would get his 122nd win. In San Francisco, that's a big number. The only thing I could say for Keller is if he wanted to be 2-3, kind of like 23 the 9th prime, he plays the Cubs next. Cubs is 9. But Giants got the date numerology. Cueto's in the right city to get his 122nd win in the NL. Keep wanting to check this in case I'm missing something. But yeah, not a whole lot to sink the teeth into on that one, so. Wait, I forgot to finish up Cueto's stats, didn't I? A few more things I need to look at. That's part of what's wrong here. All right, Cueto. Let's look at more of his splits. 63-33 at home. Okay, well there's a concern. Cueto is 63-33 at home. Pirates is 34. So he could get his 34th home loss. He hasn't pitched in a minute. He's 45-38 in the second half. We got the 38 date numerology. 45-37 second half. 38 date numerology, so he could get that 38th loss. And let's see. Where's the Pirates? Wow. He has a history of dominating the Pirates. 20-4. That is domination. All right. He's 14-9 at home, or in San Francisco. Yeah, but these two things going against him, because I mean he hasn't pitched for a second. He could be all kinds of rusty. Let's see if we can figure out the last time he pitched. The last time he pitched was July 28, 2018. Pull that up real quick. July 28, 2018. $409 days ago. 58 weeks and 3 days. Pittsburgh's 58. Alright. Yeah, I'd probably let that one go too, just because, I mean, he does have some things going against him, but he also has a history of dominating that team, so I guess what I could see in that number, though, is Giants is 25, SF is 25. If he lost, he would be 20-5 versus the Pirates. I'd still let that one go. All right, Indians and Angels. Suarez won, he'd be 3-5. The reflection of 5-3, big Los Angeles number. Again, if the Angels win today, they'd be 1-4 versus the Indians this year. LA is 14. Plesac is 7-6 for season and career. And he's 2-4 away. The thing with that is Los Angeles Angels is 139, the 34th prime. If he got to 3-4 away, he's 4-3 in the second half. Los Angeles is 53. Okay, and against the Angels, never faced them. All right, Jose Suarez. Suarez is 2-5 for season and career. Los Angeles is 53. And Suarez is 0-3 at home, so you get another LA tribute here. LA equals 4-13. And Suarez is 0-4 in second half. LA 14. And versus the Indians, he hasn't faced them. Alright, let's see who these guys face next. Whoops, wrong thing. Indian schedule. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Indians got the Tigers next. Was that in Detroit? No, that's at home. What's wrong thing? If he lost his next 2 starts, he could fall to 7-8. Because Tigers is 78 and Cleveland's 78. Plesac faces Detroit next. Detroit equals 78. Cleveland equals 78. Would have to lose next 2 starts. Those would be big losses for Cleveland if that happened. Remember, the Indians, their next win is 85. Los Angeles Angels, 85. So I was saying yesterday, the Indians to win 2 out of 3 makes a lot of sense. Started off with a W yesterday. Let's take a peek at tomorrow with that thought in mind, that winning 2 out of 3 makes a lot of sense. Maybe we can get a better read on tomorrow's game. Plutko's 6-4. Peters is 3-2, so he could fall to 3-3 versus Cleveland. Cleveland's 33, so is Anaheim where they play. So that's kind of incriminating. I guess I can look a little bit more at the stats here. The Cleveland pitcher tomorrow could improve to 11-9. Indians is 1-19, so that would be encouraging as well. Becoming 11-9 for his career as the Indians pitcher. That would make sense. And let's look at Peter's stats a little bit more. Oh, perfect. He could become 6-7 tomorrow for his career. Cleveland Indians 67 and fall to 3-3 on the season. So if the Indians are to win 2 out of 3, which I think will happen, tomorrow looks like the better day because they're going to win 1 out of the remaining 2. So tomorrow's the better day. If Indians win 2 out of 3, meaning split today and tomorrow, they will have 85 wins. Los Angeles Angels equals 85. Tomorrow, Peters can fall to 3-3 with a loss to Cleveland. Cleveland equals 33. He can fall to 6-7 for career. Cleveland Indians equals 67. And Plutko can improve to 11-9 for career tomorrow. And Indians 119. So I like Cleveland tomorrow. And the only thing that could go wrong with my thought today is if the Indians surpass that 85 win threshold, which could happen. That could happen. But we just saw some things. We saw some things that went both ways in this one, honestly, for today's game. If you want to be safe, I'd wait for tomorrow's game. You know, personally, that's probably what I would do. I don't like to give my money away, so Indians look good to go tomorrow, and especially if they lose today, then I think that would just strengthen the riddle that much more to get to that 85th win. If they get to 85 today, I'd still like the Indians tomorrow. They could go past the number. If the Angels didn't win any games, they'd stay on 67, huh? Cleveland Indians 67, so that's not out of the question. That's not out of the question. But tomorrow looks like the safer game to me. Angels' best riddle today to win is to become 1-4 versus the Indians because LA's 14. But they're not in the same division. Those head-to-head records are always stronger in the same division. All right, Cubs and Padres. Cubs and Padres, where are we going here? Let's see. Cubs' next loss is 43. San Diego's 43. That could definitely play. And I see Quintana could get his 14th win today. San Diego 43, the 14th prime. So that stands out. Yesterday, the Cubs followed the date numerology. They could do it 2 days in a row. We still got 3 games left in this series. If the Cubs win 2 out of the remaining 3, they'll get to 79 wins. San Diego Padres is 79. They could follow the date numerology. Win today on the 31 date, win tomorrow on the 32 date. Let the pattern get broken on the 33 date, perhaps. A lot of times the series pattern will break in the final series, final game of the series. Okay. Padres are 1-3 versus the Cubs this year. Again, if they lose, they'd be 1-4. San Diego 43, the 14th prime. San Diego Padres does have the 83 connection, which is the 23rd prime, so consider that as well. All right, Quintana is 13-8 for season. San Diego equals 43, the 14th prime. Okay, whoops, what am I doing? Quintana. All right. Quintana is 33-22 with Cubs. We got the 22 date numerology, but we also have that San Diego Padres connection, 83 the 23rd prime. I trust the date numerology more in these pitcher records than a prime number relationship with the team. He is on 83 career wins though. Quintana is 83 and 76 for career. We're gonna have to look at who he faces next. And he's 41-40 away. Quintana is 41-40 away. 41-28 in the second half. Padres 2-0 versus the Padres. 3 starts, 4.50 ERA, and okay, let's look at Bolanos. I don't think he has much to go off of here. Bolanos is 0-1 for season and career. Yeah, we don't have much to go off with him. So Cubs got the date numerology, the head-to-head record. Can make an argument either way, I suppose, with that one. Quintana, just on the surface, his season record. It is a good opponent for the W. Let's see who they both face next. Whoops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's going to face the Pirates next. That game was in Chicago. He could get his 15th win of the season over the Pirates if he won today. Well, you could make an argument either way because Pirates has the 43 connection, also the 47 connection, the 15th prime. So you can make an argument either way based on his next start. I'd have to give the Cubs the edge here because of the date numerology. Just the other thought in my mind, though, is the Cubs are one of the teams that if they lose some games that they shouldn't, it'll help out the Phillies. I still feel like they're going to squeeze the Phillies in to that October 1st wild card spot. So Cubs are a team that, and even if the Cubs won this series and it was looking even worse for the Phillies, they still have room to come back, but the hole will get deeper. So, if Cubs win 2 out of next 3, they will get to 79 wins. San Diego Padres equals 79. That's one other thought here about Quintana too. He's on those 22 losses with the Cubs. San Diego Padres 79, the 22nd prime, so he could stay on those 22 losses. All right, and then the Reds and the Mariners. So we got the battle of the 19 teams. Remember, Reds equals 19, Seattle equals 19. 19 is the 8th prime. And you know what? As I say that, one thing I meant to keep an eye on today that I know I haven't mentioned at all is I just wanted to see pitchers who could pick up an 11 today. Was that on the board? So some pitchers could become 1-1, which is kind of like 11. So Wheeler could get his 11th win. The reason I meant to talk about this is because we have the 31 date numerology, the 11th prime. So that's one more thing for Wheeler. Barrios is on 11 wins. I'm not going to hold that against him. Yarbrough's on 11. I don't know about staying on it. I'm looking for the guys who can pick it up. I guess that was it, huh? Okay. So the Mariners today, if they don't win, they'd stay on 58 on the 58 date numerology. The Mariners are 13-2 versus the Reds all time. The Mariners are 5-1 at home. Mariners does equal 52. Ohio does equal 61. They don't call them the Ohio Reds, though. It's their first meeting in 2019. And let me check one other thing here with the I meant something I just realized I forgot to do today with these interleague games is just check the interleague records. Not that those have been the most helpful things in the world. Seems like they can deceive more often than not. We on advanced stats here? Not Cleveland. Seattle's 4-10 versus the I'll just jot it down. Seattle is 4-10 versus NL. Cincinnati equals 51. But again, don't put a lot of weight on that. It's been misleading as much as it's been helpful. Cincinnati's 8-9 versus the NL or AL. Bauer's 69-59 for his career. For the year, he's 10-12 combined. Let's see. Bauer is 10-12 for a year, 1-4 with Cincy. Bauer is 69-59 for his career. So his next win is 70. Cincinnati Reds is 70. I don't believe that goes with the Mariners. And Bauer is 2-6 in NL. He's 32-32 away. It's not going to help us. He's 26-25 in the second half. Reds equals 26 if he became 26-26. Seattle is the 206 area code. And let's see. He's 2-4 versus the Mariners. Seattle Washington equals 139 34th prime. He's 2-2 at the Mariners. Powers 2-2 at Mariners. Okay. And this Justice Sheffield. Doesn't this guy... Am I remembering this wrong? Does this guy's name equal 109? I know he came over from the Yankees 109. Oh, his name is 58 like the date numerology. Guess it's not 109. I misremembered that. 110 actually. Alright, Justice Sheffield. Who's not related to Gary Sheffield. Alright. Just looking for that first career win. Wonder if some of these pitchers who are 0-1 today could get to 1-1, because again it's the 31 date numerology, the 11th prime. Well, if the Mariners didn't win today, they'd stay on 58 wins on the 58 date numerology. They'd fall to 5-2 at home. Mariners is 52. So those are two things that could go against the M's. But, yeah, I'm not sure about that either. If you're looking for your best games today, I couldn't say that that's one of the best games. So again, let's we got a pitcher here for the Yankees now. Let's take a look at this. Nestor Cortez Jr. I don't recognize this name. It says he's 5-0. Okay. But he's never started. He's a middle reliever, so he's probably just going to pitch an inning or two. Maybe a few innings. We'll have to look and see how many days it is from his birthday, making his first career start. Cortez Jr. is 5-0. First career start. December 10th birthday. Today. So it's 91 days to his upcoming birthday, span of 92, and then from his last birthday it is 39 weeks in a day. Tigers is 39, New York's 39. Let me just double check something to make sure I was right about it. I think I already double checked it like 3 times because I couldn't believe it, but I just got to check it one more time. I got to make sure the Tigers really do have more wins than the Yankees this year. Oh, come on. Detroit is 2-1 versus the Yankees this year, and they did that in New York, as hard as that is to believe. April 3rd, so they haven't played for a minute. Let's just see how many days it is from the last game. April 3rd is the 93rd day of the year. And let's see. It's 160 days later, or a span of 161. It's also a span of 23 weeks later. Okay. So again, 2 possible scenarios. The Yankees win 2 out of 3 and make the series 3-3 against each other this year. New York's 33, Tigers is 33. Or the Yankees sweep and get to 98 wins. Didn't I write that down? Yeah, I did. The Yankees sweep and get to 3 wins, or 98 wins. Detroit's 98. So I got to say I like the Yankees to win today, mostly because of the date numerology. If the Tigers lose, they are 2-2 versus the Yankees this year on the 22 date numerology. Plus Detroit Tigers is 79, the 22nd prime. And you know what? Let me think about one more thing here. New York Yankees, I forget. Is it? No, it's not. It's not. Okay. But yeah, I like that 22 on the 2-2 date. It makes sense. Good chance the Yankees do sweep the series, win at least 2 out of 3. Edwin Jackson's not an encouraging pitcher. There's nothing in his numbers that suggests he wins today. So oh, I just thought about something, Cortez. Making first start 91 days from birthday, and Detroit is 91. So that's why I guess that's why he's making his first career start today. So I imagine the Yankees get to 2-2 versus the Tigers this year on the 22 date. Braves and Phillies. Philadelphia does have the date numerology on their side. They've gotten these riddles all year. You know, until they were eliminated, I'm going to believe that they're going to be in the playoffs. Atlanta's riddle today would be to stay on 22 losses versus the NL East. Let's see. Freed, you can make an argument either way, win or lose. Vargas, there's not a lot that shows. But the Phillies can pick up that 31st win in the NL East on the 31 date. And they'd have, if they won today, they'd have the same shot tomorrow. Braves is 32 if they got the 32nd win on the 32 date tomorrow. So there's that. Dodgers will probably be the first team to clinch a playoff spot today. We talked about how it's a perfect day, and we talked about how if they do clinch today, we really got to think about that Dodgers-Yankees World Series that was all about 42. Today's 42 days to the start of the World Series. That blackout on the 42-year anniversary of the New York blackout. Last time it happened, you had a Dodgers-Yankees World Series. Yankees won it 4-2. If maybe the reason the Phillies have been getting riddles all alongside the Yankees this year is because the last time they played the Yankees in the World Series, the NLCS was Phillies and Dodgers. Phillies beat the Dodgers. You know, sometimes we pick up on a riddle and we don't quite have the right outcome in mind. So it's possible. The Red Sox and the Blue Jays. Blue Jays definitely have an upset narrative today. Toronto could get the 22nd win against the NL East on the 22 date numerology. If the Blue Jays won, the Red Sox would become 5-3 at home. Or no. The Red Sox would become 5-3 at Toronto. Boston Red Sox 53. If they split today and tomorrow, Toronto would be 3-6 at home. Toronto's 36 in both reduction ciphers. We see that 36 have a lot with Toronto. The way to play it safe might be, well, if you play it safe, you could miss out on the better payout. But the playing it safe mode would be to wait to see what happens today. If Toronto won today, Boston would very likely win tomorrow. Again, because by tomorrow it would be 3-6. If they split today and tomorrow. If the Blue Jays lost today, they'd have a good shot tomorrow as well. So, but there's a chance you could miss out on that upset play today. Diamondbacks and Mets, I like Wheeler to get to 11-7. Again, we had him to win the last start so that this scenario could come up where he could get to 11-7 versus the Arizona Diamondbacks, which equals 117. Zach Wheeler's also 117. 31 date numerology. 11th prime, can get his 11th win of the season. I like that. The Brewers and the Marlins. Miami could pick up their 22nd loss versus the NL Central today. So the date numerology is there to support a Marlins loss. Chase Anderson's got some concerning things, though. If the Marlins upset the Brewers today, Chase Anderson has some strikes against him. We did see, though, that Chase Anderson will face the St. Louis Cardinals next. And we see how many pitchers go in with the perfect record to face an opponent. If he won today, he'd be 7-4 to face St. Louis in his next start. St. Louis 74. Nationals at Twins. The best riddle in this game is that if the Twins win today, they will be if the Twins win today, they will be 5-2 at home versus the Nationals. Minnesota's 52. If they won tomorrow, they'd be 6-2. Minneapolis is 62. And if they win today and tomorrow, they'd be 10-7 versus the Nationals all time. Washington Nationals 107. The Rays at the Rangers. I'm not crazy about this game. I'm not, but the Rangers have a good shot to win 2 out of 3. I might put a little bit down on the Rangers to win the series. Wouldn't be a bad payout. The reason why is if they win 2 out of 3, they'll be 74-74, and Tampa Bay Rays is 74. That just looks good to me. So there is a narrative there for the Rangers to lose 2 out of 3. That's through the Rays staying at 28 away losses because Rangers is 107 the 28th prime. But I like that 74-74 more. Oh, you know what else I was sleeping on? Not only is Tampa Bay Rays 74, Texas Rangers is 74. So both teams have the 74 connection too. So Rangers to win 2 out of 3. The riddle's definitely there. The Royals at the White Sox, there's a few things here to consider, but my favorite thing is that if Nova wins, he'll be 8-6 pitching in Chicago. Kansas City Royals 86. Whoops, I did a typo here. Kansas City Royals 86, and guaranteed rate field is 86. So Nova can become 8-6. Devil's Advocate narrative is Chicago divided into 77 neighborhood areas. And I guess I'll start taking calls right now. Caller?
Hey, what's up, Zach?
What's up, man?
Hey, I was looking at the that one day, September 7th, it was leaving 115 days left in the year.
Right.
And just an interesting observation. I don't know, I'm not trying to open up a can of worms, but so the Cardinals won 10-1, kind of like 101.
Right.
And right now, if the season were to end right now, well, not right now, but towards the end of the year, if the Phillies did make the wild card, they would play the Cardinals.
Sure.
So it's just an observation.
Both those cities have the 115 connection as well. Year of the 115th World Series, and like you said, day leaving 115 days left in the year. So
yeah. And remember that line on that Yankees game, man? It was crazy. It was like 11 and a half runs and
negative 115 to the Yankees.
Yeah, negative 115. It's like they're poking us in the face. They're like, "Here, look, this was going to be in the World Series."
Yep.
Yeah, so I just wanted to point that observation out. It was just funny. I was looking at it. It was 10-1 score, and like Philadelphia was 101. So
that's a great point. Great point.
All right.
Thanks, man. Okay, so the strongest riddle here to me is the 86 thing with Nova. And again, I'm going to post all these notes. The Athletics and Astros, the strongest riddle in this game was through Miley, in my opinion. Miley, he faces the Royals next for another 86. If he won today, he'd get his 85th win, the reflection of 58, Oakland's 58, and then he could get his 86th win against the Kansas City Royals 86. And there was just a few other things there, too, that suggested that he might not lose today. So the Athletics upset would have to be through the head-to-head record. Rourke doesn't look like he's primed for a win today either. He looks more likely to lose. So there's that. The Cardinals and Rockies. The Rockies upset narratives through the head-to-head record. If they won today, they'd be 1-4 versus St. Louis for the year. St. Louis is 43, the 14th prime, like 1-4. Colorado's 43. If the Cardinals sweep, they would get to 38 away wins. Colorado's 38. If they lost 2 of the next 3, they'd get to 38 away losses. It's possible. Surprises happen. Chichi Gonzalez is looking for that first win of the season. Today is his 239th day of his age, the 52nd prime, Coors Field 52. In your dollar parlay, you could throw in the Rockies there as a multiplier. But hard to have a lot of faith in old Chichi, the winless pitcher. So, and let me make this note here. If Rockies win one game, they'll have 97 wins. 97, 25th prime, St. Louis equals 25. It doesn't have to happen. I mean, eventually they'll get it. Might not be this time around. Pirates at Giants. Giants got the date numerology on their side. They can get the 31st home win on the 31 date. There's not a lot doing with the pitchers, though. And there's some concerns here with Cueto. He could get his 34th loss at home. Pirates is 34. He hasn't pitched in forever. He could get his 38th loss in second half of the season. You got a 38 date numerology. Giants equals 38 as well, but doesn't have to come today. And if he did lose to the Pirates, he's dominated them historically. He's 20-4. He'd be 20-5, kind of like 25. Giants 25, SF 25. So let's see. Indians and the Angels. I'd wait for tomorrow's game. Tomorrow looks really good for the Indians. Tomorrow looks good for the Indians. Today's a little bit dicey. If the Angels won, it would have to be through the head-to-head record, but just the pitcher stats kind of make me uncomfortable. So Suarez does. You could throw your Angels in your dollar multiplier. I'll put it that way. You could do that, but I wouldn't. You know, it's a sketchy game there. The Cubs and the Padres. Cubs can pick up the 31st away win on the 31 date. The only thing that I worry about with the Cubs is if they are trying to get the Phillies in there, the Cubs losing some games, the Nationals losing some games, those are things that would help out the Phillies. So that's what we got to think about down the stretch here. You know, I remember down the stretch last year in the NFL season, we knew they were going to get the Ravens in the playoffs because we knew Baltimore was a big part of the narrative, and that helped us call a lot of games. And we had to go outside like our typical reads to see how things would have to work out for Baltimore to get in there, and we did really nice down the stretch with a bunch of games. So as you get closer to the playoffs, you got to really think about the scenarios. And, I mean, I could be wrong about the Phillies, but again, that wild card on 10-1, they're the 101 team, Philadelphia. And right now, they're huge odds to even make that wild card spot, so that might be worth a few bucks. So, okay. Cubs at Padres. Again, that date numerology that is there for the Cubbies. Quintana has a better riddle to win today. I won't be surprised if the Cubs win today. And it looks like the Cubs will win 2 out of the next 3 remaining. So, and then the Reds at the Mariners. To me, that's just a throwaway game. I wouldn't mess with that one personally. So, the phone line is open if anybody wants to call in. It is 509-731-0567. 509-731-0567. I think there's few good games up there on the board today. I see some people in here like Miami. Again, that Miami game. Let's see. Let's go back to the Miami game one more time, see what the chat's buzzing about with Miami here. Brewers at the Marlins. Caller?
Hey, have you ever heard of Jim Umbright?
Tell me about it.
All right, so he was the guy who died on April 8th for the Houston Astros in 1964 at age 33 from cancer.
Okay.
And his name is also equal to 54. Ritual sacrifice is 154, and in Jewish ordinal 148. Yeah, he died in 48. So you were thinking before, it's like, why we have all these 84, 48s with the Astros, and maybe it has to do with that guy. Because it was a big death right before the season, and it was before they went to the Astrodome.
Well, I would think it wouldn't be about him, but that might be part of the reason he died on that day. There's something going on with the Astros in 84. I just keep seeing that number around then.
Yeah, we'll have to keep digging then. I'm actually kind of curious now because I have seen it so much with Wade Miley. He's on 84 wins coming into this game.
Yeah.
It's a team that has 84 wins.
Sure. I just noticed when I look at Astros games, I just keep seeing 84s. I'm like, what's up with the 84 and the Astros? So. Yeah.
Oh, also, just separately, at in the notes, you put Dodgers equals 1-9, I think. To Los Angeles.
Instead of Los Angeles? I probably wrote that up there with the clincher notes, huh?
Yeah, it's definitely interesting that it's 42 days. And how that ties in with the 31-day numerology today. How Bueller can get his 13th win, and how Clinch is also 31 and clinching today.
Huh.
And then with the Yankees, it's like, well, for tomorrow then, just like going based on what we're having to work with. So if Yankees win tomorrow, Astros have a great alignment tomorrow. If they definitely win today, the sweep is probably going to happen. And then the Indians and Diamondbacks look good tomorrow as well. So there's already 4+ games, and potentially also the Brewers there, but at least 4 games tomorrow that there's already a great read zone. So what I was thinking is, at the end of each day, you should like grab the couple sentences that you put and like either bold it or make like a separate list. Like, here's what we're looking at for tomorrow.
So you said that you like 4 games tomorrow. So the one that's screaming out to me tomorrow is the Angels-Indians game.
Yeah, and then the Yankees on 9/11 going to 6-11 since 9/11, 2001.
Huh, that's an interesting stat. Okay.
And then the Astros, if they win today, that sweep is probably happening.
Sure.
And the Diamondbacks pitcher, I believe, you also had identified for tomorrow as well, I think.
I forget what I said about
the Mets guy was going to.
Oh yeah, that's right. It looked real good for the. I'll jot that one down too. Okay, so we got Diamondbacks, Yankees, Indians, and what was the other one again?
Astros, and then maybe the Brewers.
Okay.
The Brewers pitcher kind of aligns with the next set.
All right. Well, we'll be here tomorrow too to do it. So, but yeah, it is a good point.
All right. I just wanted to add that thing about the Astros test because it does tie in with the Gematria sacrifice.
Okay. Yeah. Good work.
Maybe more to dig into this, but to start.
Yeah. Indeed. All right. Good work, man.
Right, thanks.
See you. Okay. I'll make that note. Tomorrow, D-backs Ray can become 13-7, 137, 33rd prime. This is the Diamondbacks pitcher tomorrow. New York is 33, and D-backs pitcher can fall to 9-9 tomorrow, and Arizona Diamondbacks 99. So, all right. Well, we can wrap it up there, you guys. And I'm planning on starting the NFL Decode tonight a little bit later than normal. Sorry, East Coast people. Hope it's not too late for you guys. But I was thinking 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 Eastern. Possibly, if I can start it a little bit before that, I will, just for the sake of the East Coast people. But if you can't watch it live, remember you can always watch it after. And we're going to cover it a lot more times before we get to the games. But I just want to get some information out there for those of you who like to analyze and do your own decode. So I'll post the baseball notes now and be back a little bit later today for round 1 of NFL Week 2. And just remember, regular season stats, definitely a whole lot more important than all-time stats. I do put the all-time stats up just to analyze the information, but regular season, in the regular season, will take you to where you want to be. And I got a little bit feisty with the first caller today, just because at the end of yesterday, after I lectured about that 100 times, he called in and gave us an all-time stat. And I was just like, why are you doing that, man? Come on. But I do appreciate that guy a lot, and I did piss him off, so I feel bad about that. But I just didn't understand why he did that at the end of the call yesterday. It's kind of like, it's like, what is he trying to do? So, all right, Zach Wheeler, 11-7. Till next time, Truth Seeker.